So there's kind of two types of bankruptcy. There's Chapter 7 and there's Chapter 13, right? So Chapter 7 is the...
Hi friends, welcome to My Divorce Real Estate. I'm Amber Gifford and this is my husband and business partner. What's your name?
SCOTTY.
Scotty Gifford. We start all our intros like this. We don't want you to forget who we are.
Nope.
Anyway, today we're talking about something so not fun, but it's called bankruptcy. Yeah. But you know why we're talking about it? Because we get a lot of phone calls about someone going through a divorce. So it's bankruptcy during divorce. And like, should I or should I not file? I'm thinking about it. I don't have any money, which bankruptcy is not the answer to having money. Let me just tell you.
So there's kind of two types of bankruptcy. There's Chapter 7 and there's Chapter 13, right? So Chapter 7 is the one you have to pass like a means test as far as like income.
So it's like a straight liquidation.
Yeah, like you're going to sell most of the things you own and get rid of things.
Credit cards.
Yeah, just gonna. And then the good news is if you file a Chapter 7, then like you can instantly file, like all the creditors have to stop calling you and leave you alone and stuff like that. Versus 13, where it's like, hey, I'm going to try to keep some of this debt. I'm going to get on a payment plan, and then I'm going to pay off my debt as I go because I have I have steady income and I can pay some of these things off.
So it's a debt adjustment payment plan is the difference. So straight is like just get rid of it all, cut it dry. 13 is more like a debt repayment.
Well, you can keep some things in 7, but yeah, like the 13 is more like a payment plan you're paying back over, and it's a 3 to 5 year commitment that you're making when you file 13, right? So, and I think one thing I like to highlight is if you're talking about filing a 13, most people, like 60+%, don't actually make it through, and they actually get that bankruptcy, dismissed.
Because they failed repaying the
They
debts.
failed repaying some of the debts, and then like that starts their clock over again as far as like the payment plans, and it just really doesn't, it's, I don't know, it's just not a great thing overall that I see.
So in a 13, it's a 3 to 5 year repayment plan, but you can buy a house again after 2 years for a conventional, and FHA doesn't have a waiting period.
Yeah, so if you finish your payment plan
on a 13,
then you could buy it again. The problem, like I say, the problem is that most people don't complete it, and then it starts the clock back over.
Well, let's notate this too. Let's say you're married, but you want to get a divorce.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend a 13 either in that case, because if you're going to be filing for bankruptcy while you're married, like you're going to do a joint petition. Like, hey, do you really want to be, married for
another?
You're going to be bound to him for another 3 to 5 years during the bankruptcy? I don't think so. So, like, I would suggest if you are considering a divorce and a bankruptcy, okay,
do the bankruptcy after.
Well, yeah. Well, you want to probably do the divorce first, and then.
Right, and so
for the 13, there's like
3 to 5 years.
If so, there's a difference between if you got it discharged or dismissed. So if you discharge it, like you completed it, it's a 2 year for a conventional, and then there's no waiting period at all, right? If you finished it,
3 to 5 year repayment plan on top of the 2 years to buy again on a conventional for Chapter 13.
Yeah. So then if you failed the plan though, then it's going to be
starts over.
It's going to be 4 years from the dismiss date, or the 2 year for the conventional there. So.
But a Chapter 7, there's a 4-year waiting plan for conventional, and then a 2-year waiting period for FHA.
Yeah. So most people, if you did like a Chapter 7, FHA's usually going to get you to be able to get it back at home sooner, right? You have, it's just a quicker time frame. You don't have to wait as long. So.
But they both stay on your credit for
10 years, right? So if you filed for bankruptcy, it's going to show up there, and everyone's going to see that, and you're probably going to have a hard time getting any new, people to loan you money again.
So I think in a divorce scenario, there are other options, and before we encourage you not to file, like before you meet with a CDFA first and foremost, which is a certified divorce financial analyst, or exhausted all your options. Maybe your spouse can buy you out of the house with a nullity lien. Or maybe selling the house is more beneficial. I know one person wants to stay in it, but they can't afford it. But you really got to exhaust all possibilities and scenarios, which is what we like to do, is come in, meet you where you're at, facilitate a plan for you, and show you what your options are. Because what if the cool thing about the OLT lien though is like, oh my God, I can't take on more debt, but actually with an OLT lien, you buy out your spouse or they buy you out, that you can pay debts.
Yeah, you can through the OLT partition. You can pay off some debts, pay off the credit card, maybe pay the attorney that you still owe some money to.
Yeah.
Right. So, like,
so it reduces the DTI, which is debt to income, and you don't hurt one side to help the other, which is what's key.
Yeah, exactly. So I think being able to look at your overall debts and look at the house, and if you have that income, like, we can work with you and make out a payment plan or pay off some debts using some of the equity of the house, right? Because it all is community property and it's community debt. So like paying off this community debt, you're paying off for over here. So those tools allow you, especially people that have like a credit card or car payment loan. Those are kind
Didn't
of
you just have somebody y'all paid off a car? So...
Yeah, we paid off a truck.
Well, but first and foremost, the husband reached out to us, and it was the wife who was keeping the house and wanted to buy him out. So because we helped her, we didn't hurt him, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
he reached out to us because he was looking to buy. He ended up deciding to rent, kind of like I did. And then she was going to stay in the house and buy him out. So they had, some community debt. We were able to pay off those community debts using the equity of the home. And then she was able to stay in the home. And, it actually, of course the payment went up, but her overall, cash outflow from all those debts actually went down. So it was actually, saved her, she can be able to stay in the home and then afford it. So it's nice.
Yeah, and there's also stipulations like it's lender approval and all that, but we're not talking about that today. This is mainly about bankruptcy and what your options are and what the two different types are. Chapter 7.
Yeah, and if you want to read more about this, I'll link down to our article that we wrote about this in there, so you can read about the Chapter 7, Chapter 13, whether you should wait or not, and all that information will be kind of in more details, down below if you want to read more about that. So
don't just go filing for bankruptcy until after you've met with your team to figure out what the right plan of attack is.
And a lot of people that are doing it pro se, like by themselves, the failure rate on those bankruptcies is even higher than if you're working with a bankruptcy attorney. So definitely you want to make an informed decision about that if you're thinking about bankruptcy. Don't just rush out and do it. So
yeah, make an informed decision about everything we say on every single video.
Yeah, make a team. You have a team of people, right?
Always. So thanks so much for watching. And as always, we're here to bring you real life experiences to all your real estate needs.